Welcome back. You hear nothing. Other than the adjusting of waves kind of crashing on the shore and the winds blowing through, what you see,
oh boy,
noiselessly, is a shadowed shape beginning to breach the distant fog bank that obscures and encloses your vision. You begin to see as it cruises at an angle from the outer portion of what water you can see, the bow of a massive ship. As it begins to cruise up, you see chains hanging off the side, some thick, almost like an overgrown moss that seems to cluster up this damaged ship as it continues to push through. You see masts come into view, the sails tattered and hanging in strips. And you see a handful of dark shapes along the bow as it just silently approaches. Immediately, about 6 of the shadowed shapes sploosh into the water
They make splash?
and vanish beneath the waves.
You can swim!
The water breaches, and you can see figures just walking through the waves.
Cool.
The rotted remnants of long missing skin and flesh now left in thin lines across what is mainly skeletal figures, wearing bits of torn leather armor and holding cutlasses and daggers at their sides as they emerge from the water. 4, 6, 10 of them, all just marching up the shore towards you. This raspy voice echoes out from the ship beyond. Take it from them. Leave them bleeding. Whatever they have is ours.
We hit it, right?
Okay, right off the bat, I'm gonna scooch under Fern's legs and switch her here.
Okay.
And so you're gonna light him up, right? And I am going to give you an additional 5 to your AC, and then I'm gonna slice the air towards the one in the lead and test them out.
All right.
Just 12 for that, because I'm not gonna juice it up. And then the second one is a 10.
Okay, so and you duck back. The slices hit, and you see like bones kind of crack and break. One of the arms kind of almost falls to the side for a bit, but hold on by a tether of some sort of leather strap, and it just continues to forward.
Next. Well, I suddenly go a little translucent, so this is going to be fun. There's a hole in my head that goes straight through, and I'm just going to take. I'm going to take a standard swing at this guy.
Go for it.
17 points of damage.
Crack! It looks like it was a heavy hit, and it's looking pretty hurt already in one strike.
I'm gonna hit it again.
Just smashes it onto the ground. The ribcage breaks open, the arm bones kind of filter out, the weapon kind of skitters a bit at the side.
Okay, I fall into the water, straight down.
what?
And I show up right between FCG and the...
Whoa, cool.
right there. And I just drop back down. Whoa. Next.
You watch as the water begins to swirl in this direction, and it's almost like the beachfront itself, a little bit of water there, is beginning to pour into this massive whirlpool. This figure over here, on the edge of the ship, leans forward with this high, shrill, screaming voice. "You are the captain! Bring what he wants!" And pulls what looks like a moss-covered pistol, like a musket, and kind of leans off to the side, kind of a big blade at the side, and the muzzle flash is blue flame. As it impacts you, ice like freezes up along the front of your chest before it like kind of cracks as you move your body. Kind of glance up in pain and look around at the surrounding, and you can now get a better look at a lot of these skeletons as they emerge. There's these dull blue burning points of light in their skulls as they emerge. As they step, you almost see like the surface of the water seem to crack. Like there's just this blanket of freezing energy that's causing the water to slightly crystallize in their presence.
Good to know.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I'll use a minor illusion to conjure a copy of the compass in my hand, and I'll hold it up to the captain. I'll say, "Call off your men! We know where your compass is!"
Make a deception check.
We'll find your friend, but we don't leave survivors.
They don't leave survivors! That's all right. Your crew can just stay here with us and I'll...
All right. Looking at their undead bony forms, I crack and dislocate a few of my bones and go to my form of dread.
Cool.
And then, I'm going to fireball them. 26 fire damage.
In this explosion, you watch the bones kind of like scatter out from the detonation. The mist is kind of burned away in a minute before it all begins to roll back in to kind of fill the space, and they all just crumble into piles of bone and armor under the waves as the ocean begins almost like going to drag them back out.
Sure, you don't want to make a deal.
You now kind of glance over, and up here you see the haggard-looking skeletal dwarf with like this patchy, awful, mossy beard that hangs down, tucked into this like breasted-over long jacket. His eyes are burning these bright, flaming blue balls that's kind of out from the front of the face. You see him holding this massive saber up, and this like gnarled-looking hand cannon in the other hand. Looks back and meets your gaze.
Well, let's have a chat.
And he puts his weapons away.
Oh, the rest, kill him.
He will, as a bonus action, do Command from the Grave. The one kind of looks over kind of just past you and just goes into an unnatural sprint. Like all of a sudden this undead strength go through it. Comes charging over the beach, rushing up towards you. So it's going to go ahead and take 2 attacks at you with its longsword. Your mage armor deflects it off the side. Up in front of you right there.
The rocks on the ground around me are going to start shaking, and they're going to float up and start spinning around my head again.
Rocks.
I'm going to bonus action push the skeleton away from me, and then when I do that, 2 of the meteors are going to slam into him.
Bones splinter off. You can see the portion of where it's like kind of armor was collapses inward. The metal's dented from the impact, and the flames kind of burn up the side. It looks hurt, but it's still standing. So now, the one up here in the crow's nest. This skeleton is blackened. The actual bone itself is like a soot color, and you can almost see the veins of like a reddish light through it, like it's a molten skeleton in some way, as it pulls up this massive heavy crossbow and kind of aims in like a sniper shot from above. It's all right. So against you, FCG.
It's gonna be rough.
That's gonna be 18 piercing damage.
Doubled?
No, 18 piercing damage.
Okay.
And 36 cold damage.
Oh my god!
It's a robot.
As the crossbow
54.
releases, this burst of bluish magical energy just scatters off of it, and you just
54?
When the heavy bolt hits FCG, it almost pushes you back 5 feet, and you almost like pin into the beach itself for a second as you have to like get yourself back up onto your wheel, and it is like through your torso,
Oh
poking
no,
out the
it
back.
pierced my metal.
All the water, the crew members' pieces reattach, and they all get right back up out of the water. 2 of them are going to attack you twice, and the other 2 are going to attack you twice.
Awesome.
8 points of slashing damage and 1 cold.
Okay.
Other one's attacking you twice. 14 points of slashing damage and 6 points of cold damage.
All right. Surrounded and harried by undead, I assume, creatures, I will take my coin and sort of flip it up into the air above us and just mutter a quick prayer, Changebringer. No offense to Laudna, but can you please shine your light and wipe these evil dead souls off the face of this flat planet? And I will cast Turn Undead / Destroy Undead.
Okay. All of them fail. They are all currently afraid of you.
Okay, total chaos everywhere. Am I on foot still, or am I swimming at this point?
You're about knees deep in the water, so it's difficult terrain from this point forward.
Okay, I'm gonna wade in.
Just like The water is freezing cold. It is very, very cold.
Okay.
Let's go.
Use the bonus action to swing out Seedling and send a vine to the side of the ship, hopefully over that ladder.
Okay.
And
Pull yourself forward.
pull myself.
You are now up onto the ship, and you are next to the one that was shouting the very loud, high-pitched, kind of shrilly voice. You could see what looks to be a human skeleton, female, with a wild bush of black curly hair that emanates from this bleached skull.
Are they wearing? Do they have any weapon in hand?
They do. They have it looks like a short sword in one hand and a pistol in the other.
Okay. I will make the first a goading attack, and then I'll do disarm attack and try to knock their gun into the water.
You got it. So both strikes, kind of heavy hits to them. You hit the pistol, and it kind of knocks it out of their grip, and they catch again in the air. The skeleton, still looking down at you, looks back up past you over the top, goes, "Captain! Looks like we've got boarded by a flea!" The captain kind of continues to pace and walk, glance over the shoulder at the shout of the flea that's joined the ship, and just kind of gives a weird grin. The teeth kind of crack a little bit as the jaw seems to twist into a ghostly smile. "Don't worry, Captain! I'll take him!" That'll be 14 points of slashing damage and 12 points of cold damage.
26 total. Gotcha.
Oof. And heavy. The first one kind of goes wide, and right as you kind of are getting your bearings, you duck the first one, bring the shield up, and you suddenly can't see it, and then underneath the shield, it's crouched down to almost like a cockroach, lower level, and just carves you up the front with the short sword.
God. I'm gonna look at these two fuckers in front of me. And my eyes are gonna flare white, and I'm gonna say, "Back the fuck off!" And I'm gonna cast Shock Flare.
It blasts outward. This one kind of falls back and collapses into a pile of bone at the bottom of the rock hill.
Great. For my bonus action, I will use 2 more meteors and slam them into the skeleton still standing.
They both get blasted back. One kind of catches the rock. The other one just gets thrown off the edge and crumples into a pile of shattered bones and armor. As the other one's pulling itself back up. Both meteors, and it goes arcing in the air where its torso pulls apart from the rest of its skeleton, and it falls into 2 pieces about 5 feet from each section.
I'm gonna get up on the high rock.
Did we collect the hole, or did we leave the hole up there?
The hole is up there. As you climb up, you get up the edge and have to catch yourself and walk around the edge. Yeah. It's just a massive hole in the top of the rock.
I'm actually gonna just hang down.
Okay, so you vanish into it,
Yeah.
which gives you total cover while you're hanging there.
That's great.
So there you go. And the sniper puts in another large bolt, pulls it back, gets down, and aims out past everyone to you once more.
I'm just a sweet boy!
You hear once more the massive bolt just streaks through the high-pitched whine, and FCG gets blasted and tumbles. But you are now laid out. A secondary bolt just kind of sticking out of your torso right now. It's going to go ahead and reload. Down onto the deck, because you're now the other immediate threat.
I thought they were both coming.
That'll be the end of it.
Great.
Splinters the wood. Shards of it go flying around you as it just kind of sticks about 6 inches out of the deck.
Taller than me.
Yeah, the rest of the crew, they can only get up that far.
Great.
They spend half their movement to get there. They're both going to dash with the rest of it, and they both fall into the hole. So you're holding onto the edge, they both go woof, woof, over top, and they fall down 10 feet, and then immediately splinter out again.
No, wait.
Finishing their go now. FCG, you're up.
I'm up.
Yep, I need you to make a death saving throw.
All right. Nope.
Okay.
What you got?
I am going to cast Cure Wounds
Okay.
on this dumbass.
So you come out of consciousness, 2 bolts sticking 2 feet out of your torso.
Cool, I'm gonna grab hold of this giant crossbow bolt in the deck and swing around into the enemy next to me and try to do a pushing attack into the water. Whoa.
So the first one, you go ahead and strike, and Captain gets back on, puts the blade ready. This one, it parries it to the side, and you both kind of are in a standoff position.
I'm going to use a wormhole strike, motherfucker.
Okay. As it's getting the bolt ready for the second shot, You go ahead and swing your hammer, and as you swing it partway through, your arms just vanish for a moment, and from behind, a portal opens, and the hammer crack hits the sniper from behind, and they just and tumble Asaber tea kettle off the side.
Yeah, that's some good range, bro.
Onto the deck. Parts of the deck kind of splinters up around it, and then you see the skeleton's like.
Is he not quite down?
Except the captain's still kind of pacing and watching. And it kind of gives like a nod to the water, and the whirlpool shifts.
Nod.
Yep.
Oh!
Now the water's like.
He's moved it.
So it moves underneath. We'll come to that on your turn.
God.
It is now the individual's turn. The one that's fighting you on the deck. They try and bash you in the side, and you pull up the shield, and you both just kind of your feet slide about an inch, but it's barely any movement. Angrily, it's going to go ahead and now shout over here the captain's orders to the one next to it, and this one's going to be like,
Make sure you shoot true. Am I able to quicken a spell and spider climb?
yeah, you can do
And
that.
then dash the rest of the way?
Yeah, you can do that.
I'll do that.
It's right up there.
Let's talk.
What is it that you're wanting to discuss?
I'm going to use Silent Image to look like Chetney's possessed sword. It's a cursed sword. It's a cursed sword that talks to him. And so I figured it would go good with your whole aesthetic.
Show me this blade.